just gauge some, questions and things like that from them. So Laura and Rob are coaches and trainers of neurolinguistics programming, timeline therapy, and hypnosis. Having taken one of their weekend seminars personally, I can say that it is it's incredible. It's a really unique and unlike anything else you've probably ever experienced. It'll teach you a lot of things that you probably wouldn't have expected going into it. But it also kind of creates, I said to Laura, my biggest feedback to them was it creates a lightness inside of, your head of things that you've maybe been holding on to for too long, including from beyond, say, your own timeline. I'm purposely not going too detailed here because I don't want to take away from Laura and Rob's thunder on things. So they're going to tell us a lot more about it, but in their spare time, I know they enjoy spending time with their kids as well as their grandkids, who they do from time to time host at their place as well. They also love camping, have recently gotten into yoga, among just a plethora of other fun and health-focused activities. So let's hear from Laura and Rob now, and they're going to tell us all about their business and what they do.
Can I share my screen?
You should be good to go, yeah.
Okay. Is everybody good? Good morning, BNI Thrive. As featured presenters today, my name is Laura Harvey, and this is my husband, Rob. Our company name is Root Cause Solution. Today, we're going to give you a little of our personal story that brought us to becoming master practitioners and trainers of neurolinguistics programming, timeline therapy, and hypnosis. So today, for myself, for as far back as I can remember, I have been curious how some individuals could be so successful and others not so much. I would see families that didn't have much and notice sometimes the family was happy and sometimes the family was sad. It would continue on down the line, and then one family member would decide they didn't need to be poor and they would do very well for themselves. Then maybe some or all the family members followed. Or perhaps it was the other way around. Someone that came from a very well-to-do family that chose to live a very meager life. So what was with all that? I also found friends or coworkers and sometimes family would come and ask how I managed to accomplish things or how they could change what was going on in their life. So giving others guidance was something that I had done for many years before I took the neurolinguistics programming training. During those times, I did think that there must be something more that I could do to assist others. Something other than just listening and adding in some practical suggestions. Then I found myself at the age of 54 in a situation of being let go from a company that I had worked for 20 plus years. So now it was my turn. I needed assistance. I needed assistance to move forward from this situation. I needed to learn a new way of thinking. Yes, I could tell myself to do all the practical things. However, I understood that I now needed to think a little further outside the box. About 1.5 years after I left my job, I did 6 hours of coaching with a gal that has similar training to what Rob and I now hold. I learned many things about myself and others. When I came to realize that I no longer needed to carry around all at the unconscious level, all of the unresolved events from the past, it lightened the load on my brain. I was able to look at things in a very different way. We don't consciously know we are holding on to unresolved things from the past. It is very much at the unconscious level. You may know these: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, resentment, grief, and even depression. That is right. The list goes on and on. I also learned that we can get the positive learnings from these emotions, from the root cause, without having to go back to relive those events. Then as I move forward, I use those positive learnings in the future to assist me in unlocking my best future. I also learned that I had some old beliefs that may have been useful in the past, but were no longer working for me, such as I had to work very hard for a meager salary. My mom didn't work outside of the house except for a short period of time for a very meager salary. It seems sometimes we take on others' beliefs and believe they are our own. Very unconsciously, I took on that belief. I also learned that my values drove what I did and how I did it. Values? What are those things, you may ask? Those are our unconscious processes that drive us. They come from the deepest level of our unconscious minds. They are so unconscious, we don't even usually think about things, we just react. Such as, let's say, you may know that going for a walk every day would be very good for your health. However, if looking after your health isn't high on your list of values or priorities, then as much as you should go for that walk daily, you aren't likely to do it consistently or even make it a priority. For myself, being fired from a job that I loved at the age of 54 was a very pivotal time. I chose to move forward. I could have stayed stuck right there on the couch, being sad and depressed and saying, poor me. Don't get me wrong. I did sit on the couch for a period of time, about 4 or 5 weeks, and then started moving forward, one step at a time. There was still sadness and confusion. Nonetheless, I continued to make changes and move forward, taking one step at a time. Please remember that what is a baby step for one person is a giant step for another. I continue to take steps forwards, sometimes backwards, and then forward again, always taking the positive learnings from the situation and putting them into action. Now you will hear from Rob.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here and share a small piece of my story today. As I was growing up, I was influenced by many mentors. Sometimes it was family, sometimes school teachers. Also, some of my family members were teachers. I saw becoming a teacher as a way of moving from the difficult situation I grew up in, to allow me to move forward, and also the opportunity to mentor others that maybe were looking for some assistance. However, as sometimes life is, I didn't become a certified teacher until later in my life. I did hold many positions of leadership through work, volunteer firefighting, the Surrey Fire Department, church, and assisting with the soccer association that our boys played under. Some of the things I experienced over the years were migraine headaches, injured in a couple of car accidents, and hit as pedestrian, which resulted in being sent flying through the air and then landing on the pavement several feet away. In seeking assistance for the recovery from the pain, trauma, and physical injuries, I wasn't finding the answers to the traditional medical system and began seeking alternative medicine options. I was led first to a chiropractor, then to a naturopath. I was looking for the root cause to release the pain, discomfort, and trauma and move forward. As I was on this journey, we learned about neurolinguistic programming, timeline therapy, and hypnosis. So some of the things I learned was I didn't have to deal with the pain and the suffering if there was a root cause. Once you discover the root cause and get the learnings, the pain can be gone. The initial pain from any injury should be gone in 6 to 8 weeks. Dr. John Sarno, a surgeon in New York, says that. Any residual pain is the result of something that hasn't been resolved at the emotional level. That's right. What goes on physically is the result of something that isn't resolved at the emotional level. We used a process called pain paradigm. I uncovered that I was holding a belief. If I was in pain, it meant that I would receive money from the insurance company. I had long since received any settlement I was going to get from the insurance company Yet I continued to hold on to the pain until the day I uncovered what the root cause was.
So what was the one thing that changed everything in our lives? I would say it was timeline therapy. Learning how we could get resolution on things that came up in our lives and not have to take a long time to process them or stew about them for a long period of time. When things are left unresolved, those unresolved emotional things that are what cause dis-ease. Our body is at dis-ease. Yes, I say this correctly, dis-ease.
Our life has changed in so many ways we cannot imagine what it would have been otherwise. Some terrible situations became blessings. Now we assist others, like you, to get resolution and to unlock your best future. What gets us up each day is our motto to teach, heal, and inspire.
Thank you for allowing us to share and being such a gracious audience. Our questions to you are,
What did you learn?
what questions do you have?
What do we need to know?
And we are finished. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have a, oh, go ahead. I was going to say the same thing. I don't have a question, but anyway.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I just want to say that everybody can benefit from their program and highly encourage everybody to do it. What's so amazing is that it's instant results. We're not talking people, you know, and I talk to a lot of people, and it's amazing how many people are in therapy and seeing a therapist, and it's years and years and years. And this is something that is like super instant results. It's incredible. And you really can't even describe it fully until you go through the program and just really experience it. So you guys are fabulous, and I look forward to continue working with you guys.
Thank you so much, Linda.
I just appreciated that you said, you know, you did sit on the couch, like you gave yourself that little moment, whatever you want to term it, but you got up and started moving forward. And I think for some people that's probably the hardest thing. But it doesn't have to be, you know, a leap and a bound. It can just be baby steps. And sometimes there are going to be times where you go backwards a little bit, but just to keep on that path. So I found that was encouraging to hear, even from someone like yourselves who are doing this. Like it is a process, but the most important thing is to get started on it.
We are human. We are human.
Yeah, moving forward with purpose is the biggest thing. Like even like you say, even the little steps. If it's moving forward with purpose, it's the start of your journey.
I've got a one-word summary for your weekend. This is my one-word summary. That's
Would agree. That's pretty accurate.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we'll keep moving along here, but Laura and Rob, thank you so much. As always, Rob, great to see you jump in as well. Let's work on building